I'm Nicole Wesson, strategist, consultant, and development coach. And I'm also your host of Tip That Scale. For those of you who are new to the podcast, I want to welcome you. It's great to have you here. For those of you who are familiar with Tip That Scale from maybe a couple of years ago, welcome back. I have some news for you. It's going to be new. This is an introduction on what the new version of Tip That Scale would be. So let me start with a little background. In December of 2022, when we originally launched Tip That Scale, I launched it with former colleagues, and they were my co-hosts as well, AJ and Ron. We had a really good time. I learned a lot about podcasting, and to be honest, I still have a lot more to learn. But we had just been laid off from our employer. We were all working for the same company in the people department and laid off on the same day in early December of 2022. AJ and I talked about it, came up with a name, started talking about what we could talk about, but the original premise of Tip That Scale, please go back and listen to our earlier episodes because they're valuable, but ultimately, we were here to help you tip that scale in your favor. And we were really focused on how we could leverage our experience in human resources, talent acquisition, understanding the job market, understanding the different things you could do to get a job. That's what we meant by tip that scale in your favor. It was great. No complaints, but things change. And to be honest, a lot has changed since our last hiatus episode, but I'm back. AJ and Ron are fully employed doing their talent acquisition and recruiting thing, and I hope to have them on future episodes just to talk about what they're seeing in the job market as a part of sharing valuable information with the audience. However, as I start thinking more about Tip That Scale, I could do more. The podcast doesn't have to focus solely on the job market, which we know has been up and down and up and down and up and down. What I decided with this new version of the podcast is to leverage more of my experience as a development coach. And when I talk about being a development coach, that's exactly what it is. I help people to develop in various areas of their life, both personal and professional. So yeah, you may end up hearing an episode that talks about the job market, talks about alternative job search option, or what to say in an interview, because that is part of coaching. But you'll also hear some of the development piece, some of the life skills, some of the things that we just need help with just to get us through the day-to-day. I'm happy to do it. There's so many things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, just as we're doing life. And so my goal with this podcast, Tip That Scale 2.0, but that's not the real name. My goal is to use a lot of what I do with my coaching clients to help others. Now, let me lay some groundwork here. The only time this podcast will be a long episode is if I'm interviewing someone. There are some people that I definitely want to interview, but for the most part, think about it as a quick snapshot of tips and tricks that you can take throughout the day. One episode may be about a job search or talk about a particular industry. Another episode may talk about what does success look like. And then yet another episode may talk about how to navigate chaos in the office. And believe me, I know there is some chaos happening in the office. Be prepared. It's going to be quick, down and dirty, and very informative. And hopefully you'll find it transformational as well. So with that, once again, I'm Nicole Wesson, and I am the host of Tip That Scale.